You know that feeling, that specific kind of low-grade anxiety you get when you have like 12 different tabs open. You've got Slack pinging you on the
A
left.
Discord notification on the
Well,
right.
You're trying to find a file somewhere in Google Drive, and meanwhile your actual work is just, it's buried.
The Alt-Tab dance?
The Alt-Tab dance. We've all done it. And
Absolutely.
the usual solution is to go find another productivity tool.
A new app? This is the one's going to fix it.
Right. This is the one. But the source material we're digging into today, this guide on building an autonomous AI employee, it argues that's the trap.
It is the trap. You try to fix chaos by adding more tools, but every new tool is it's another inbox you have to check, another mouth to feed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that really brings us to the core of this deep dive. We're looking at the construction of something called ClawdBot, a locally hosted system. But we aren't just doing a technical teardown. We're really looking at the philosophy behind it, because it suggests this fundamental shift in how we think.
It's a shift from using a tool to hiring an employee. And I know that sounds like marketing fluff.
Little.
But technically, it's a huge distinction. A tool just sits there. It waits for you. An employee has agency. They remember things. They act for you, even when you're not there.
So just to give everyone a quick roadmap here, we are not just talking about a better ChatGPT.
Not at all.
We're going to break down the actual architecture of an AI employee, why it matters that it lives on your computer. We'll get into this gateway concept, which I thought was fascinating.
Oh, it solves so much. Then we have to talk about the slow start. Because if you build this, your first instinct is to let it run everything.
And that is how you destroy your digital life on day one.
Immediately. And finally, we'll get to the holy grail, banning the inbox.
And using context awareness to just make everything easier.
Which is the closest I've seen to real magic in a workflow.
So let's start with architecture. The source draws a really sharp line between, web-based AI like ChatGPT or Claude and this idea of an AI employee.
A huge line.
I think most people figure if they pay for ChatGPT Plus, they have an assistant. Why does this guide say that's just wrong?
It all comes down to state. Memory, basically. The author uses this brilliant analogy. Think of web-based AI.
The stuff we use every day.
Right. Think of it as a genius locked in an empty room.
Okay. An advisor in an empty room.
You have a problem. You walk in, you bring your documents, that's you pasting text in the chat, and you ask your questions. The advisor is amazing. Incredible answers.
But then you leave the room.
And the door locks.
Yeah.
And the room, it incinerates everything. It resets completely. If you come back 5 minutes later, that genius has no clue who you are.
Doesn't remember a thing.
You have to re-explain everything from scratch.
Which is why using it for long-term projects feels so exhausting. You're just repeating yourself over and over.
Exactly. It's stateless. Now contrast that with the AI employee, with ClawdBot. This is like a junior employee sitting at a desk next to you. They have a permanent workspace, your hard drive. They can open drawers, read your files, and most importantly, they have persistence.
So if I go to sleep, the employee is still at the desk.
Still at the desk. Organizing files, watching for emails, compiling research. They maintain state over time. They know what you did last week.
So you don't have to explain it again today. That's the real difference. It's not intelligence, it's persistence.
That's it.
The source gets into the tech, and it mentions something called a gateway, calls it the office front desk. Why is that so important? Can I just, hook an AI up to my Slack and call it a day?
You could, but then you're right back in the chaos. Now you have a bot on Telegram, a bot on Slack, a bot on Discord.
And they don't talk to each other.
They don't share a memory. You're fracturing the brain. The gateway solves this. It's one single entry point running on your machine.
It's a traffic controller.
Traffic controller and a translator, yeah. Whether you message from your phone on Telegram or your laptop on Slack, every single message hits the gateway first.
And it standardizes it.
It standardizes it and decides where to send it. It ensures the brain gets all the input from everywhere all at once. It unifies the stream.
And once it's past the gateway, it goes to the agents.
I want to pause here because I think this is where people trip up. I've seen people try to build one God mode AI to do everything.
Oh, yeah. The one bot to rule them all. The source argues strongly against that.
It does.
It's all about specialized workers. You create a work agent and you create a personal agent and you keep them totally separate.
Separation of church and state.
It's vital for stability. I mean, think about it. Does your personal assistant who handles groceries need access to your server logs?
Definitely not.
And does your coding bot need to know about your grandmother's birthday? No. By separating them, you reduce the blast radius if something goes wrong.
Right.
If the personal agent messes up, maybe you get the wrong brand of peanut butter. If the work agent messes up, you might delete a database.
That's a very practical way to put it. Peanut butter versus a database. High stakes versus low stakes. And these agents use skills, which are just plugins, right? The ability to read Gmail or control Chrome. But the crucial part, and the source really hammers this home, is that this all runs locally.
Local first. On your Mac or Linux machine. It's not a client service. Why is that so critical? Is it just about privacy?
Privacy is huge, of course. I mean, you're giving this thing the keys to your entire digital kingdom. You do not want that training some model in the cloud.
Yeah.
But it's also about latency and control.
Wait and see.
Speed, when it lives on your machine, it feels intimate, instant. It's truly your system. You're not renting it. You own the employee. If the internet goes down, your employee is still there.
I like that. It's like reclaiming your digital space. But let's play devil's advocate. If I gave the system to you today, fully functional, I know exactly what you would do.
What would I do?
You'd turn everything on, read my emails, reply to my boss, run my business. I mean, I would. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, 100%. I would push every single button immediately. It's the shiny new toy syndrome.
But the source says that is exactly how you fail.
It is the classic trap. We get excited, we give the AI total access, and then boom, it hallucinates. It deletes a file it shouldn't have.
Sends a weird email to a client.
Right. And then we go, well, AI is useless, and we turn it off. The source pushes for what I call radical patience.
Slow growth.
The rule in the guide is simple. If a mistake causes a lot of damage, that task is off limits. Period. At least at first. You're not looking for productivity on day one. You're observing it. It's like a probationary period.
So what's the first assignment then? If it's not running the company, what is it doing?
The daily proactive summary. This is so simple, but it flips the whole interaction on its head. You set it up to send you one message every morning.
Just one.
That's it. It has a calendar overview, a list of emails that seem urgent, and your main tasks. It's read-only. It doesn't do anything. But here's the magic. It shifts the dynamic from you frantically checking everything to it telling you what matters.
You're establishing a rhythm, but it's going to get things wrong, right? It'll flag a newsletter as urgent.
Of course. And this is where the employee mindset really clicks. When it gets something wrong, you don't go rewrite a Python script.
Oh, coding.
No, you treat it like a new hire. You reply to the bot in plain English.
Like, hey, you messed that up.
Exactly. You say, hey, that email wasn't important. It's a newsletter. Only flag emails from actual clients or, people with this domain.
That is a very human way to debug software. You're coaching it.
You're calibrating its judgment. The source is clear. You only add new skills like logging notes to Obsidian after the last one is 100% reliable.
I have to admit, that takes a level of restraint I am not sure I possess.
I know, right? I still wrestle with prompt drift myself. I just keep tweaking instructions instead of just letting the system run. But the payoff is huge. You're not fixing a tool, you're training a colleague.
So why start with a read-only summary instead of actions?
To verify judgment before risking real-world consequences.
Okay, let's raise the stakes. We've trusted the brain. Now we want to tackle the inbox. The source has a hardline stance here. It says, stop treating email as a workspace.
This was a huge aha moment for me. We live in our inboxes. There are to-do lists, our filing cabinets.
They're a list of other people's priorities, not ours.
Exactly. The source argues email is just raw input. It's a messy data stream from the outside world. So the rule is, never let the AI react to email in real time.
Never. Not even for urgent stuff.
Never. Real time is impulsive. It means the AI might reply without full context. Instead, the system uses batching. It checks the inbox on a schedule. It scans, summarizes, and categorizes everything.
So you're not looking at a list of 50 screaming unread messages.
No. You're asking the AI what needs my attention. You're seeing summaries. You're seeing what the source calls work unit.
Work units, explain that.
Okay, so a customer has a billing error. Normally, that's a thread of 5 emails, a Slack message to finance.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
And a headache.
The AI bundles all of that into one work unit. It just presents you with the context. Client X is upset about invoice Y. Here's a draft reply, and here's a note for the finance team.
So it did all the legwork and it's just waiting for your approval.
Yes. You manage the process, not the individual tasks. It's inbox 0 by proxy.
That sounds incredible. Also, terrifying. What if it misses something important?
That's where the monitoring versus doing phase comes in. At first, you don't let it hide the emails. You just let it tag them. You watch the tags.
Ah, so you're checking its work.
You see, okay, it correctly identified that billing issue. It correctly flagged that server alert. Once you trust the tagging, then you let it hide the raw feed.
It all comes back to verified judgment.
It always does. But once you get to what they call system-level management, it's a superpower. You stop replying to one customer, you tell the AI, find every customer with this issue and send them this update.
Whoa. Imagine scaling from answering one email to commanding the system to handle a whole category of problems.
It's pure leverage.
So what's the primary safety mechanism for handling email?
Delaying reaction time batch processing prevents impulsive mistakes.
Okay, let's pivot. We've covered work, but the source says this also runs your personal life. And this is where it gets kind of sci-fi.
This is my favorite part, the personal agent.
Right, separate agents. This one knows about groceries and playlists, not customers. But it's the context awareness that really got me. The source says the system shouldn't have to ask where you are. It should just know.
Yes. This is all about removing friction. With Siri or Alexa, you have to be so specific. Alexa, turn off the lights in the living room.
You specify the object and the location.
You're acting like a programmer. But this system, it knows you're in the living room. It knows it's 9 p.m. It knows your phone just left the Wi-Fi. So you don't need the whole sentence.
You just say,
lights off.
And it infers the rest.
It implies intent from context. It's called command shrinking.
Ooh,
the better the context, the shorter the command.
That feels so much more natural. It's like talking to a roommate. If I'm walking out the door with my coat on and I say lights, my wife knows what I mean.
Exactly. She has the context. The AI needs that same visibility.
And the source takes this further to ambient awareness. We all have notification fatigue. Our phones are just constantly buzzing.
The philosophy here is passive displays. The idea that technology shouldn't scream for your attention.
Like those ink screens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or a dashboard on a TV that's usually off. The idea is these displays only show information if something is wrong or needs your attention. If everything's fine, the screen is quiet.
Silence is the default. That is wildly different from my phone.
Right. My phone is a dopamine slot machine. A passive display respects your attention. It uses deep data, like health or finance info, but not for hot takes. It's for long-term patterns.
What's an example of that?
Instead of a notification every time you buy a coffee, it just watches the trend. Then, maybe on day 25, the screen in your kitchen quietly updates to say, takeout spending is trending up 20% this month.
It's not nagging you. It's just giving you a high-level view.
It watches the trends so you don't have to obsess over the data points.
How does context awareness change how you speak to the AI?
Commands become shorter and natural because it knows the who, where, and when.
Welcome back. We have covered a lot of ground here, from the architecture of the gateway to the patience of onboarding to the zen of passive displays.
A lot to take in, for sure.
It is. So let's try to boil this down. What's the one big idea here?
I think it's that real autonomy. It doesn't come from just waiting for a smarter model. We're all waiting for GPT-5, thinking that will solve everything.
But the source says that's not the bottleneck.
No, the bottleneck is structure. You can have the smartest model in the world, but if it's just an advisor in an empty room, its usefulness is capped. You need the gateway to organize the input. You need the separate agents to handle state. You need boundaries.
And you need the patience to train it.
That radical patience, yeah. The goal isn't just to be faster. It's to remove mental noise. It's about designing a life where the system remembers all the details so you can just focus on the decisions.
The AI is powerful because it never stops working, but it only works within the rules you set.
Exactly. It lets you step back and actually live knowing the junior employee is handling the routine stuff.
So here's our challenge to you, the listener. You don't need to go install a Node.js server today to try this. You can simulate the daily summary experiment tomorrow morning.
I love this idea. Tomorrow, before you dive into the chaos of your inbox, just take a piece of paper and write down a single summary. What's on the calendar? What are the 3 emails that actually matter? And what are the big tasks?
See how that shifts your mindset from reactive to proactive. And ask yourself, what if I didn't have to remember this?
That's the question.
And we'll leave you with this last thought. The source says that once you experience this, having a system that works while you sleep, you can't go back. So if your computer could actually work tonight while you were sleeping, instead of just waiting for you to type, what's the first thing you would offload?
I know exactly what mine would be.
I bet you do. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
See you next time.